Well, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the ConquerCast. I'm super excited today. We have an awesome guest here with us, Baylee Rayl Christophel. We just
That's right.
went over that name
You
just to
got
make
it.
sure that I had it correct, and so I'm super excited today. As you listen, please make some comments and make sure to subscribe and share this podcast with others. Just having had a few minutes with Baylee, I know you're in for a treat and you're going to hear some incredible things. You've done some
Thank you.
awesome things in life, and you're creating a business
Yeah.
around called to be, like
Yeah.
people's purpose and mission.
Mhm.
And I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And this has kind of been for about the last year,
Yeah. Almost a year.
almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year. Our year in August, August 5th. We got it.
Super exciting.
Yeah, well, thank you first off so much for having me. It's already been, we're here for the summit and I'm just excited. I've got to meet the team and blown me away. So thank you so much
Baylee
for
ran
having me.
our Warrior Wednesday
I
workout
did.
yesterday. I was
Mhm.
running a little late because I was hearing another podcast, but me and that podcast guest, Dave from Baku, were able to join, and you put us through a great workout.
We had a good
You
day.
caught me failing on the bench press a few times where I was
We picked it up though.
yeah, we picked it up. We made sure to get all the reps, and yeah, appreciate you doing that for our team.
Yeah, it was
Everyone
so
loved it.
fun.
And that's kind of been a space that you've been playing in for quite a while right
Yeah.
now, the CrossFit space,
Yeah.
right? 5 times CrossFit Games participant.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about that. How long have you been into
Oh
CrossFit?
man, I started I started back in college because I actually, long story, I had a brain injury. So I was playing college golf. I played basketball in high school. I also did golf in high school, but I collided heads with a girl in a game and it took me out of all sports. So
Wow.
that's how I grew up, was playing sports.
Okay.
And when it took me out of that, I realized I had no idea really to how to exercise or take care of myself or help with my nutrition. And I started going down that path, and I did not like the trajectory of my life once I got released from that injury. And so I tried to do some fitness. I tried to go into like the rec center. And
Yeah.
back in the day, you didn't have fitness programs that would just like tell you what to do. So I'm like calling my friends, do you have a fitness Excel template sheet of what I can do?
Yeah.
And I just didn't enjoy it. And I had a family friend who kept asking me, like, just come try CrossFit, just come to our garage gym. That's a big thing in CrossFit, garage gyms. I'll teach you some things and then just see if you like it. And I had the typical excuse. I was like, I'm not going to try it until I'm actually in shape.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Not use it to get
Yeah.
in shape. You're going to get
Right.
in
I'm
shape
gonna
and then
get in
try
shape
it.
and then not feel like,
Were you intimidated by the CrossFit space, knowing that like there's a lot of fit people there, and that's why, or what was the reason why you wanted to get in shape first before using CrossFit?
well, I didn't know how to actually like put together a workout.
Okay.
And I didn't want to look silly, you know, because
Okay.
there's a lot of movements that you have to learn in CrossFit. So I was like, let me learn those first or figure it out if I like it. Because I'd never been to a CrossFit gym before. And then I'll go there and make sure I don't look silly while I'm trying to do these movements.
Mm.
But then eventually I just got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to do it. I'll
Yeah.
just try. So we went to his garage gym and he taught me, him and his wife taught me the ropes of CrossFit. And I loved it. I
Cool.
loved the challenge. I loved learning new things. I didn't know that I would actually like it until someone pushed me to try it.
Yeah.
And so then we eventually went to the CrossFit gym and I fell in love with the community first, of just like, I didn't feel silly. That was a misconception that I had with CrossFit, where the celebration is just you walking through the door of like, you're
Yeah.
here and you've made the choice. You know the workout's going to be hard, but you've made the choice to get better together with our community. It doesn't matter what phase of life you're in. You're here to make that choice, and that's what we're celebrating. We're excited to see you and celebrate the wins with you, because we're not designed to do life alone. And that's what makes it way more special, is you can celebrate the wins and the bad days, and you have a community there to do that with. So that's how I got into CrossFit. And then having that competitive nature, my dad and my sister, my whole family's been into sports. So we've been competitive my whole
So is
life.
that your family? Is your family to you and a sister? Do you have
Yeah.
other siblings?
Nope.
or-
So I have one older sister and my mom and dad, and we live in Springfield, Missouri. So that's where I grew up.
And your
And
dad's here with you
my
today. He
dad's
was
here.
videoing yesterday
Yeah.
down in the gym while we were naked.
Yeah.
I absolutely love seeing that. And you'll have to tell us about that relationship with your dad. I'm sure it's strong with your mom and your sister as well, but seeing you travel with your dad and having his support. I'm a girl dad. I've got one son, but I've got three daughters,
Yeah.
and I'll spend as much time as I possibly can with them. So to see you
Yeah.
guys together,
Yeah.
I'd love to learn more about your relationship with your
Oh,
family.
yeah. So I have an older sister, and she was really anything that she would do, I'm gonna do that.
Doing that.
I'm gonna do whatever my sister does. Still have that with her today. She's my best friend. And so then it was my mom and dad, and we don't have a brother, and so, we play football, we would be on the tractor. He put me on a mower when I was 10 years old, and as a kid, you're kinda like, "Oh, I have to do this," like, "All
Yeah.
my friends get to go to the pool," but now as I'm older, I'm like, I'm so thankful for all the lessons that him and my mom taught me because those ultimately made me better, but I didn't get to see that as a kid until now, and I do feel like God uses that in our life too, so it's been a really cool reflection of, like, I don't know what the purpose of this is right now, but all of the things that they taught me are going to be for something good
Yeah.
down the road. And so we've always had that tight knit family. We've lived away from like my grandparents, and my dad's job brought us to Springfield. So it's kind of
Okay.
just been like our unit. And so whenever we went out on the road, my family has just been my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
And that's like what I've known. So I've been so blessed to have that and be supported by them. And for me, I kind of want to just share that with
Yeah.
other people. And I get to enjoy that. And that's such a blessing that I have, is that I get to do that with my family. My dad gets to, he's worked so hard that now he knows like he can do that on the road, and we can choose to be together because life is so short.
Yeah.
So we might as well maximize the time that we have together. And
100%.
it's been cool to see the lessons that he's taught me, and they get reiterated by people
Yeah.
that we met.
Our core value for this month of July, but I just came out of a board meeting and we talked about family.
Mhm,
Family is the fundamental unit of society and community. And so here at Mountain Ops, we try to create an environment that promotes healthy families. And
mhm.
and so I love that you're bringing up that on in this month where we actually celebrate family. It's our
Yeah.
anniversary month. But I just came out of a board meeting and it was emphasized with the board that we need to be focusing on building strong families,
Mhm.
and that's what Mountain Ops is all about. So to see you, with your dad and traveling and having family be such a thing where they taught you that hard work,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't know how that's going to benefit you in the
Right.
future. Obviously, it's benefited
Yeah.
you in athletics, but also just in life. And
Yeah. And I think it's important because I've gotten to see firsthand what drive and adversity and hard work looks like, and it's not always, you don't just see the end result of something. And so I've gotten to learn and be supported. And I think that's huge, especially on whatever journey you're on. Having people who have been through things that you're going through that can give you that word of encouragement of like, you just have to hang in there. I've been through this, I've related to this. And just other people's testimonies are a way of encouraging you to keep going or just support you. And that's been a huge thing, is having that support system.
who have been your most important supports that way, of people that have been there and are guiding you?
Yeah, my family essentially from the beginning, but then you learn through different arenas and different rooms that you're in, like whether that be now I'm on a journey with my husband, and then also going to Mayhem and learning from those people, and even sitting in the room with people that have been through those experiences. Now learning through business, I can learn even more from my dad because he's been on that adventure. Or you sit in the room and I don't know much about the CrossFit Games, so I'm gonna go surround myself with people who do. So I'm at CrossFit Mayhem, from one of the best training facilities in the world. I get to learn from Rich while he's doing that, and learn from people who have already been through those times that can see you in them and pull you through and just be like, no, you just have to keep going. This is the hard stuff. We talk about the hard stuff. This is it,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get through it. And a lot of times you're gonna have more hard days, but those we were talking about that yesterday. The little moments that God places in your day are what keeps you going and keeps you building on endurance. I was actually reading in James 1 the other day, and it was talking about our faith being tested.
Yeah.
And in one of the footnotes, it was like, you don't know the strength of your faith until it's tested under pressure. And that's through so many different things in life. I don't know my weak points in competition unless I actually test them through competition. I can go back and work on my weaknesses. But same thing with our faith, same thing with any journey that we're actually on. It has to be tested, but you have to have those people around you that are actually supporting you and encouraging you to do those things. So yeah, I would say like my family, and then my friends, and just different people that you meet along the way. Even coming here has been amazing to get to learn from people that are on similar journeys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. So in the CrossFit realm, you worked out at CrossFit Mayhem,
Mhm.
which isn't close to your hometown.
Right.
So did you move?
So I went to the CrossFit Games on a team, out
Okay.
of a team out of Springfield, Missouri. So
Okay.
that's where I started, was CrossFit 417.
Okay.
That's how I actually met some of the individuals at Mayhem, because we competed in the same semifinal
Okay.
against the Mayhem team. So
Okay.
we'd be in the corrals, and we one time went down to CrossFit Mayhem. They invited our team to come down. Absolutely just got whooped in different workouts, and we were just learning the speed of the games, and that was really cool to learn that. So that's kind of how I knew of CrossFit Mayhem. And
Okay.
then my husband's been on the same journey in CrossFit. We've been doing that together,
Oh,
which has
cool.
been really cool. And he started doing Mayhem programming one day. And we had a semifinal that was online. And actually, this is the first time I actually crossed or qualified as an individual. So I went 2 years as a team, 3 as an individual. My first year as an individual, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. We'll just see. We'll see what the potential is. See where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I didn't make it through the quarterfinal section to the next semifinal.
Okay.
And I did like a front squat, and it kicked me out of the qualifying position. So I was super bummed.
Mm.
I'm in the valley, and everybody else around me is going to the semifinal, which is fine. And my husband got seated on the online semifinal because it was the year after COVID.
Okay.
And so Mayhem is going to facilitate that semifinal, because there's so much that goes into an online
Mm.
competition through judging, standards, workouts, videos, all of that. So if you can have a little bit of that taken care of, it releases some of that pressure. So he's going to go down and do that. We're going to go to Mayhem. And I ended up getting a backfill invitation.
Oh, wow.
And I got seated in that semifinal. So the same one. So I was like, well, this is perfect. You guys can do your thing. I will just it'll be set up. So I'll just be in the background, and I'll just do them after you guys do the workouts. And so that's how we actually were at CrossFit Mayhem,
Gotcha.
because during that semifinal, I'm just like, I don't know where I'm going to stack up or anything. I'm just going to do the best I can. We get to the end of the weekend, and we're waiting for that leaderboard to refresh. So we just submitted all of our scores. I think I was in 8th place. And I was like, man, telling my family the top 5 go to the CrossFit Games. Like, I did my best, just don't expect much. And we were refreshing the leaderboard, and my dad looks over at me, and he was like, I think there might be like a glitch or something. Because I literally won. I like
Wow.
got first place at the semifinal. I was like, there's definitely a glitch. But that was
Thanks, Dad.
thanks, Dad. He's like, no, I mean, is this right? And I was like, I don't know. So we're looking at different places, like the app or the website, and in fact, like, I was in first place. That was the first time
Cool.
of experiencing like the surrealness of what God can do in your journey. Now, I remember just going to the bathroom to just stand there and be like, what in the world just happened? That is wild.
Awesome.
So from then, Mayhem was like, well, you've got 3 weeks to train from the games. You might as well just come here. So I rented an Airbnb. I went and trained for the next 3 weeks. Loved it. That's one of the things. Put yourself in a room full of people who are significantly better than you, and it's going to elevate you. Because I remember that was like the longest 3 weeks of my life.
Really?
Oh yeah. It was like I was getting last on every single workout. I was like, there's no way these people work out this much. That was the
Like, how
routine.
much was it? What does it
Oh man.
take to, I want to put a visual into
We were
people's mind of what you were committed to.
we were showing up to the gym around 8:30, and Rich would write something on the board. And that was the cool thing, is we got to do that together. That was a really special journey, because you're not suffering alone. And we'd be done probably 12:30 or 1 p.m. Go have lunch, come back 2 or 3, be done at 6:30.
Wow.
Go find some dinner, make some if you have any energy left, try to make some dinner,
Wow.
go to bed, repeat. And
Wow.
that was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday's a rest day, but you do active recovery,
Okay.
and then Friday, Saturday, we would train again. And then Sunday was another rest day. But if you're around Rich, it's not really a rest day.
Yeah. And when would you kind of taper off before the games, or is this just like you're going hardcore into the
Yeah,
games?
there's different training kind of splits. I probably didn't say that the right way, but there's different seasons. So I would say after the games, you kind of taper back the volume, the amount of time you're in the gym, how heavy you're going, and trying to recover your mind and your body. Because if you're games training, you're really going hard, and you have to have that reset.
Mm.
So up until probably the Open, which is in February, you're tapering, not doing as much volume, maybe working your weaknesses. For me, I probably need to taper back on the conditioning, do a lot more of the strength training, and then you have another block where you're now starting to increase the intensity towards the semifinal and you're building that volume, because it's not sustainable if you just do games training year round. Like, we're just
Yeah.
going to get hurt, we're going to get injured. And I think that each year it like builds too. Like, they didn't work out as, like, maybe Rich did, but this amount of time, like way back in the day.
Mm,
So it's kind of continuing to spend more time, I
interesting.
guess. But then you also have to counterbalance that with more recovery time, because you're putting your body through so
Yeah.
much in your mind. So
Wow, that's intense.
yeah,
That's a lot. So you
it
did
was
that
fun.
5 different times, 3 with a team,
Yeah, two a team, three
2 a team.
individual,
Okay.
which I would say they're both difficult just in
Yeah.
their own way,
Yeah.
you know.
Did you enjoy one or over another? Or?
I loved the collective suffering of a team.
Yeah.
There was just different, man, I don't know. I think every single year and season brought its own uniqueness to it. But I would say that team was unique, individual was unique. But I think the environment at Mayhem made the individual not feel lonely,
Mm,
if that makes sense. So
yeah.
it was like the only time we were really alone was during the actual event.
Okay.
Because even in the back, we're like talking about the event, we're
Yeah.
there together, people have qualified together. So it felt like a family. And I don't think it would have been worth it to me if it was just an individual pursuit and I'm just doing that by
Yeah.
myself. Like, that was a huge thing for me, is like, it's not really necessarily about the end CrossFit Games. It's who I'm becoming
Mm,
through this journey, who I'm getting to share it with, and the lessons that I'm learning along the way. This is just like a fun little test,
that's cool.
not little, but it's a fun test. But it's really about the journey and who we're becoming and who we get to share it with.
Did you know that you were becoming something in the middle of it all? Were there lessons you're like, okay, I'm supposed to be learning these, and what were some of those lessons, or did that come after and you're like, wow, like,
Yeah. I think a little bit of both. I
yeah,
think when you're going through those hard seasons, it's hard to see out of it. It's hard to see through the storm, but I think we have to have those storms to actually see what's on the other side of it. Like, you have to keep going to see what's actually at the other side of that
yeah,
storm. But some of the times you're like, what is the purpose of this? What are we doing this for? And you're really just banking on trust of
yeah,
like, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know that we're going to see the end of it. But right now it's just chaos. I don't know what I'm learning through it. But that's why I like to surround myself with other people who have done that, so they can speak life into that and be like, you just got to keep going. You just have to endure this, or, just different words of wisdom that can help you realize that while you're going through those are helpful. But sometimes you just got to go
yeah.
through it.
Yeah, that's so helpful. I love that you've put yourself in positions to like learn from those that have gone before you, like a Rich's team or whatnot, or with your father or your mother, relationships that matter most. And I always say you're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were. And so those individuals that have gone before now have this power and ability to mentor and to
Yeah.
help and have empathy towards you, help you through that. And now I'm sure that's your life now. You're taking all that you've learned, and obviously you continue to learn throughout life, but you're now able to apply it. Did your brain injury impact any of your training, or does it cause any issues now, or
Yeah.
is that?
I think a lot of times I'll get overstimulated where I've learned with myself where I'm like, okay, sometimes the sentences that I'm saying is not making sense, or I'm
Mm,
getting ahead of myself, where I'm just overstimulated, but it didn't seem to affect my actual like physical training.
okay.
Sometimes I'd just be mentally overexhausted where I'd be overly tired.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my cousin because she has worked with brain injuries, and she explained it in a really good way, where if our brain is at 60% capacity just by everyday life things that you may not even think that you're thinking about, like breathing, walking, making decisions, mine may have been at 80 or 90% of just like everyday life. So I only have 10% left to give for that extra, whereas some people might have like 40 or 50. And sometimes I'll feel that when I'm like, I'm at capacity just living and training right now.
Yeah.
So it's just learning those different things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that actual like training it really
Okay.
affected me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
But
you
maybe.
did you meet your husband through CrossFit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So CrossFit's done a lot
Yeah,
for
it's
you
done
then,
a
huh?
lot for me, and I
And
had no idea. Like, I had no idea what that one yes of walking through that affiliate door would actually lead to. And I think that's the message too in life, is like, you never know unless you just start trying.
yeah.
Like, just try different things. You don't know what it's gonna lead to.
Yeah. Walk through that door, right?
Yeah,
Open
just
the door and
open the
walk
door, walk
through
through it, just
and say,
see.
yes, I'll try something new. I think you were saying earlier you wanted to learn this, but you didn't know it. You didn't want to look, you were kind of embarrassed about it, maybe not. The guy we have speaking at the summit tomorrow, his name's Ben Kerr, and he shared on the podcast, he says, people aren't afraid of failing. They're afraid of being seen failing.
Right,
You
no,
know,
that's good. That's
they
really
don't want
good.
people watching them. So they'll go to a garage
Mhm.
and they'll do this by themselves, even if they don't know. But what Bailey's saying is open the door, say yes, step into that realm where there's other people that can
Mhm.
support you,
Yeah.
that know, what they're doing, or just go join their community.
Yeah.
Community is so important. We always say
Huge.
here at Mountain Ops, connect and conquer. That's what we'll do tomorrow
Mhm.
at the Conquer Summit.
Yeah.
We will connect and we will conquer together.
Yeah.
So I love that aspect of CrossFit and what you've incorporated into your life with your family as well. Was there like one critical like moment in CrossFit where you're like, oh, I needed this, or I learned this, or I was about to give up, or is
Yeah.
there any of those types of
Oh,
moments you could share with us?
lots.
A lot
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, well, and just going kind of back off with what you were saying of from the beginning, I didn't wanna go to the gym yet
Mm,
until I didn't look like I was, like, failing,
yeah.
but overcoming that, I think a lot more people resonate with failing or
Mm,
maybe not getting it the first time. I really think you just fail when you stop trying
mm,
versus, like, just continue to try, and then you'll be able to speak to that. You'll be able to help other people through that, and when they see that, it's inspiring them of, like, "Oh, it's not silly to not get it the first time." Um, so I think that to everybody's testimony, I love being able to come together as a community. That's what I'm excited about for the Conquer Summit is we can actually learn
yeah.
through that.
Yeah.
How many times do you just talk to somebody like, I was so successful the first time?
Yeah.
Like, no, it didn't start
Yeah.
there. You don't get to just see mountain ops and what it's become. It started somewhere and you just like learn along the way. And
Yeah.
that's the actual encouraging part is how you can navigate that. And I just think it's important to hear that from other people. But there was one really specific moment at the games. So I'm not the strongest athlete, obviously.
I wouldn't
And
say
so
obviously. That surprised me. I saw it. Yeah, yeah. Keep going
I'm
because
like,
I've watched your videos online and stuff. So
well, in comparison to the field, I'm very heavily more on the gymnastics side of things, not the weightlifting side. So the weightlifting is kind of intimidating to me. I know if a weightlifting event comes up at the games, probably not going to be on the top of the field.
okay.
Yeah. And so one of my fears was having one of the speed ladders. So you have like a bunch of different bars and like this is a weight, this is a weight, this is a weight, this is a weight, this is the finish line. And you got to go through all of those.
Mm.
Because a lot of times my max, I'm just going to stand there. That's kind of embarrassing. Talk about failing in front of thousands of people
What
trying.
are you deadlifting, or what is this?
It was a clean ladder. So we're
Okay.
doing the clean. You can do power clean, you can do
Okay.
squat clean, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
And so they released that at the games because we didn't know until we got there.
Okay.
Well, not only did they release one, they released two.
Oh no.
So I'm like, not only one time I have to go through this two times, I can endure a 10-minute time cap of one clean ladder. Okay, that was embarrassing, but then we had two.
Well,
And so I actually cleared the first one, which I was really excited about. And then it was the next one. The next one was heavier.
huh.
It's like, okay, I get out there and it's like my Goliath where I think about that at night. I think about what if this is going to get released? What if I'm out there in front of people and I'm just failing and this is embarrassing? I just want to hide and not show anybody that weakness. But I get up to one of the bars and I keep trying and I keep trying and I can't lift it. I'm like, thousands of people are trying to cheer for you, like, come on, you can do it, which I loved because they're not going to just be looking at you like, oh, you look silly
Yeah.
out there trying.
There.
Like they think it's cool that you're
Cheering
just
you on.
out
Yeah.
there cheering you on. And I was like, that changed my perspective. But in that moment, I truly felt a sense of peace where it was like, that is something that you've been so worried about. And you are not defined by if you pick up that barbell or not. That is not where your identity is at. That is not where you find your strength. That's not where you find your courage. In that moment, I felt the presence of God of just like peace. Like you're not defined by that barbell.
Love that.
And that was when I faced my Goliath was it's okay. I'm
That's
not
awesome.
defined by that. I'm just going to keep trying. I didn't even get the lift, but I was able to vocalize that to other people of what I experienced. And I had no idea that other people would resonate with that.
How powerful.
I was like, there's Goliath. And now I feel like I compete from a sense of freedom.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not defined by this. I'm just going to go out and do my best. And you never know what the plan actually,
Yeah.
like, what can God turn that into? So that was a freeing moment for me of like, I'm not defined by anything that I can do. I just have to go out there and do my best.
I love it. I love that you found your value through the true source of value and
Yeah.
and peace in life, and that's through God, and you had that in the moment there in the arena where it's like, hey, you're not defined or valued based off of this lift.
Right.
You're mine.
Right.
I
Exactly.
created you.
Exactly. And I'm right here with you. But I think a lot of times we don't want to face that fear. Like we don't want to find out. But I think if we can actually step up to the bar and try. Like I wouldn't have experienced that freedom or that truth if I didn't actually face the giant.
Mm.
But we faced it.
So awesome. That's so good. Yeah, that was
And it may
powerful.
not be a giant to somebody else's life where it's a barbell to me. You know, it could be a job interview for someone else, or it could be a parenting style for someone, or any sort of thing that people find as their Goliath, but you have to step up to find out.
Uh, I love it.
So that was a pretty defining moment of
Wow.
my career.
Thanks for sharing
Yeah.
that. 5 years in CrossFit, not 5 years. You probably did CrossFit longer than that, but competing. Have you stepped out of that now?
I wouldn't say that I've stepped out of it,
Okay.
but this past year I've stepped off of the competition floor
Okay.
within CrossFit. I still do CrossFit every single day.
Okay.
I just wanted to do CrossFit in a different way where I could connect with the people a little bit more
Okay.
because I fell in love with CrossFit through the community.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to go out into the community this year and
Okay.
travel around and just meet people and hear their stories.
Yeah.
And so if I compete in CrossFit again, I'm not saying no. I have no
Yeah.
idea where God's going to lead this
Yeah.
journey because I still love it. I still
Yeah.
love competing. I still love reaching that potential. So you might see me on the competition floor in the
Okay.
next year or so. I'm not sure. But what I'm doing right now is I went out into the community and I just wanted to connect with other people. I wanted to hear their stories and if mine could inspire them, or we've perfected so many skills within CrossFit as a CrossFit Games athlete that it was really cool to be able to go and just share a little bit about that with other people who are trying to get their bar muscle up or trying to get a handstand walk, and just share those pieces of knowledge with them or what we've perfected and get to see them win and get
That's
their
so
bar
cool.
muscle up. Or yeah, so
And you did that. I've seen on social media you did 30 days, 30 gyms, 30 coffee shops, 30 all tell us about that.
yeah.
Was that kind of okay? Because that takes some effort. That's some intentionality around connecting with people and
Yeah.
going and helping. I love that. Tell us about that experience. And it was that kind of where you went to go connect with people is through
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, and so something that we really live by is challenging ourselves because that's where we find that true growth is outside of our comfort zone. So we could have just picked, and this was my family, like our idea of like, well, what could we do that's challenging that is a way to go out and connect and try to serve the best way that we know how. And so we made up this challenge and we were like, we're
All of
gonna.
you did this together?
So my dad went with me the whole time.
Okay.
And then my family came in through different my yeah. So my
Locations.
mom and my sister and my husband came in at different spots within the journey. But primarily my dad was with me the whole time. And we were like, what can we do that's challenging? So we didn't just pick one city that had multiple gyms around it. It was like a different city, a different gym. We were like, drive a couple hours, go to this gym, and we made out this map.
Yeah.
We reach out these gyms and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, we just want to come hang out with the community or coach a
Mm,
class or just take a class and just be part of your community and see how you guys operate
so
and
cool.
just talk to your people. So we did 30 gyms, 30 cities, 30 coffee shops, 30 days.
Wow.
It was literally one of the hardest things I've ever
I
done.
bet. I bet.
But one of the most rewarding too, because you find out what your character is and you find out and you grow through those hard things. And like you were mentioning before, I had no idea how I was growing from even talking in front of people. Even me being on a podcast right now and talking to you is a testament because I would not be able to do that
Mm,
before the actual 30 days because I was so uncomfortable just like talking or
wow.
feeling too
I
nervous.
would never have known. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you led our team in that workout yesterday. Super confident. You're very eloquent, so I would have never known.
Oh
So
yeah, I would not have done that before, but you put yourself in that
yeah.
environment and you just adapt and learn along the way. So we did that in the Midwest, and then we were like, well, I've never really gone to California. My dad and my sister had a couple of work meetings, so I was like, well, let's just go visit some gyms over there. So we did like 16 over there, and then we went over to the UK,
Mm,
which was really cool because it was I wanted to see what it was like overseas because a lot of the gyms and the people like the United States is massive, but I wanted to see what the overseas
yeah.
kind of environment was like. And they operated gyms a little bit differently, but the community was at the core.
Okay.
And that's what was so
That's
cool is
cool.
getting to see the different types of community, how they show up for each other. And so yeah, we did that. It was I think we did 10 gyms over there and took my L2,
That's
learned my
awesome.
L2, which is a little difficult to learn from those accents in
Oh, I bet.
Scotland. So
Yeah.
like they're telling me instructions and I'm the only one with the PVC pipe over my head. I'm like, "Oh, Didn't get that one. Only American in there. So
That's
that
funny.
was fun. And it's just a journey.
Yeah.
It's totally a reflection of life. Like you just gotta go. You just
And
gotta
was
do
the
it.
end goal with that, the vision with that, like creating content? Was it getting to know people? Was it trying to understand, like, what were you building with all of that?
Yeah, I just wanted to experience essentially CrossFit in the community in a different way because when
Mm.
you're competing, you have the community that you're working out in day to day, but you're kind of on the other side of the barricades. Like sometimes I want to hear other people's stories. I'm just a
Yeah.
normal person who has a story of what happened when I said yes to something and what God can do through that. So I want to hear that from other people because we inspire each other through our testimonies.
Yeah.
So that was essentially what I wanted to do. While I was trying to figure out, there was this pull on my heart to go and do that, and I didn't know why.
Mm.
And then along the way, I was like, you know what? I want to create something, and I felt like the Lord was putting this calling on my heart of I want to create a resource for people where they can find out what their calling is and encourage them to do that. Where I've had a family that supported me, but some other people don't have that. And I want there to have that value as a community of if you need workouts or you need help with fitness, we can help you with that. If you need help with your nutrition, we
Hmm.
can help you with that.
Mm.
And it's a well of resources that can help people show up to their calling the best that they can and reach their full potential in life. I had no idea what that was going to look like. So I just started. Same thing.
That's awesome.
Same.
Did this start before your travels around to the different gyms, or
Mhm.
so during that was that kind of
Mhm.
coming
It was coming to fruition
to
just
fruition?
by going and doing that and feeling inspired by other people and hearing their stories. Yeah.
That's awesome. You're very faith centered, and I appreciate that about you. Is the CrossFit community a similar space where, or is it kind of a mix?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a mix, just like with life.
Like,
And to me, that's one of my core values, like
yeah,
what I want to put at the center. But that might not be for other people, but the way that we show up operates out of that. So I want people to feel loved on no matter
no
what
matter
or no
what.
matter who they are. And I want to provide that resource for them. That might not be their core value, but I want them to be poured into.
They're blessed by that being your
Exactly.
core value. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the goal. That's
yeah.
what we're trying to do. So I
That's
just want to
awesome.
help people operate in their full potential, and if they need help with their faith, then we have a component to that where it's like we go through Bible studies together. But if they just need work, they can come to Call to Be and take anything that they need
Is
to
it like
go.
a kind of an online university type
Yeah,
deal, or how
so
do you explain
essentially we're coming out with a new app in September. That's the goal. And we have it's an online community. So we have workouts. You can work out not by yourself. I can guide you through workouts. We're going to have more workout programs come out in September. So if you need that and you need someone to just like work out alongside you or guide that,
it? Hmm.
we have that. If you need help with nutrition, we are going to have that component within the app, but we already have nutrition coaching and also like recipes. If
Awesome.
you need help with your faith, then we do those daily Bible studies
Yeah.
and devotionals together and we talk about it. If you love expression and apparel, we have that. If you just need community, then we have that online community, but we're also doing those in-person events. So we had our very first in-person Called to Be meetup
Cool.
2 weekends ago and it was
In your
amazing.
hometown, or where was
Mhm.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, we had it at the home gym, so we kept it small and
Yeah.
intimate just so we could pour into each other and really have good fellowship. But yeah, so it's like online community and space. I look at it as a well of resource. You can come and take what you need, or you can just come and utilize all resources. And also, if somebody else in your life that you come across needs that, then share that with them.
Mm.
We had a girl, and she was like, man, I actually feel confident enough to lead a Bible study in my own gym, and we can do workouts and do that. And that's kind of the goal is to inspire other people and give them that confidence that they can step out and do what they're called to do. We all have other girls who are like, I feel confident I'm going to start this business or this passion or this pursuit. And that's the whole goal
Mm.
is to go and inspire people to go and try new things and step into their calling and give them the resources so they can show up in that arena, in that space the best that they can.
Wow.
See,
It's
long
powerful.
story short, a little long winded, but I'm just
It's
super
great.
passionate
Well,
about
I
it.
love it because those that are listening, this is a resource that you should definitely look into, and it's called to be.
Called
Okay.
to be. Yeah.
And how did you come up with that?
Well, Called to Be is essentially the reflection of my life. It's just like trying new things, trying to figure out what we're called to do and utilizing those gifts and the shape and the experiences that you've been given to go and serve other people, to love God and love people, reflect Him in all that you do. And how we do that is unique to our own experience and our own shape. And so that's kind of been my journey, is figuring out what that is. And I want people to also have that resource and confidence that they don't have to do that by themselves and figure out what that is. Like we were talking about, other people in your life can look at you and be like, definitely think you have a gift here and you should tap into that. And so I just wanted to create something around that. And the logo is it's a bee with an oval around it.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted that bee to reflect like what your individual calling is. So when you see that mark, you're reminded of what your individual calling is and who you are called to be. So that was kind of the vision of that.
Cool.
But also, we were talking about, you have this vision, you don't know exactly what it's supposed to look like. So it's kind of morphed into its own thing, if that makes sense. Because you don't have all of the pieces of the puzzle yet.
We're always growing and evolving and building upon.
100%.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. When did this idea come? Was there like a moment, or was it just like, okay, I want to do something and I'm trying to find the right, or did it just kind of?
No, I will say that I wanted to take the resources that I had, and I'm super passionate about fitness and stewarding what we've been given well. So I wanted to take fitness and what has been helpful for me and combine it into something that is a resource. So nutrition, faith, community, apparel, and just like utilize all of those resources. I didn't know what it was going to look like, but just starting it and being like, okay, what can I help people with? What can the people around me help people with? Let's create something. And I think it really helped as I was going through and hearing different people's stories of what they needed.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it shaped into that.
That's awesome.
And I think, which with the people around, they're like, well, sometimes you just have to start with an idea, and then it's going to morph into, called to me may look 10 years down the road completely different.
Yeah.
But that's what we wanted to start with, is like that resource and just figuring out what people need.
Yeah.
And creating something that can
It's
help
awesome.
them with that.
When I first started my first supplement, I never would have expected that I would be selling supplements in the hunting space. I started selling through doctors' offices, and now we're, fully involved in the hunt, and our family's doing things I could have never imagined, and it's incredible. So I'm so happy for you. What's been the hardest part of building Called to Be?
Oh man. I would say taking down the pride wall of, well, I should be good at this because I should be good at this because I have been in that CrossFit space for kind of a long time and competed at that elite level. So that's kind of what I thought would happen over in the business realm. But I had to have humility and be like, whoa, I didn't just walk into the CrossFit gym and say, I'm a games athlete.
Yeah.
Which I also didn't walk into the business realm and be like, this is what it's going to be. This is incredible. Everything is put together and we already know what we're doing. Yeah. So it's humbling myself to learn the fundamentals and learn, like, just like with CrossFit. Well, I don't even know how to utilize a barbell. Well, how do you utilize Shopify, or how do you utilize building your website, or like just like learning so many things and not being discouraged that you don't have it all figured out from the jump. I think that's the hardest thing.
With anything in life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, we come into this world and we have to build and we have to grow and we have to learn and we have to have people that help us do that lead us and guide us and walk beside us. And it's the same way with any, and you can take things from the CrossFit world and apply it to like, okay, this is going to take hard work and dedication, and I'm going to have to be consistent. I think one of the best learnings I ever got from a Jim Shockey said, let time do the hard work. And most people don't. Most people want it to happen like that. They expect that it should be like, I can just translate this. I've done this in life, so it's going to happen over here. And it's like, no, you jump into something, and anything worthwhile and what you have been called to be and help others become and be, it's worthwhile. It's important. It's transformational. It's impactful in people's lives. And it takes time. So let time do the hard work. Stay consistent with everything we do, and things will work out the way they need to. Like you said, 10 years from now, it might be, I guarantee it'll be much more than you ever imagined. Just based off of who you are and who you trust. Like, seriously, you got an incredible talent and skill set and personality and everything. But I love that you bring it back to God and you'll trust in Him. And if He tells you to pivot this way, you're the type that's going to do it.
Well, that's the thing, is I don't want it if it's not from Him, because I can't actually do that myself. So if people ask me about my story, and I really want my story to reflect what God has done, because I haven't, sure, I've shown up and done hard work, but He's the one who ultimately makes it happen and guides and directs that. So I would be lying if I was just like, oh, well, it's just me. Like, I just did this or I did that. And like, no, I really just put my trust in someone way bigger than me and just trying to navigate that and not going to
Is
be,
that ever a hard thing, or is that like, you've learned that it's the only way to do it, or
yeah.
is it hard to trust in God in your life, or and I see under the shirt it says consider the lilies, like
Yes.
eh,
Yeah.
how does
It's a constant
how does
reminder.
that apply? Yeah.
It's a constant. I was literally talking to my dad about this, and we are like, "How come sometimes you're trying to do so much good, and you're like, we just had the event a couple of weeks ago, and I had everything planned out perfect, and that's how I operate. I want it to be like I'm a total perfectionist, and then it was supposed to storm all day, like all my plans were going to be completely ruined, and I'm like, why?
Mm,
Why, God? Why? I'm trusting you with this, and I'm trying to do and steward it the best that I can, and sometimes I think he puts those little hiccups in our path to be like, we need to check our heart posture here. Is it really about the perfect plan, or is it about to point back to me? Like, what is our actual purpose? And so
mm,
I think a lot of times that's why I just think it's so huge to surround yourself with people with the like minded goals and values so they can help direct you when those
yeah.
storms hit. And we were talking about kind of like the parable of a tree. So if the tree could talk to the farmer, then they'd be like, well, there's a storm coming. Can you put me in the shade? And if you keep putting the tree in the shade, then they don't actually grow the roots.
Mm,
And I think that's life too, where it's like if you want to be strong, you have to endure storms because you
mm,
have to figure out how to navigate through them. So then if that tree actually is left in that storm and has to continue to grow its roots deeper and deeper and deeper, then it becomes incredibly strong through what matters, which is your faith. And then even the strongest storm won't affect the fruit. And that's something that has been huge in my life, is like, you know what? This storm is actually going to make us stronger, even though I can be really frustrated. And I have those conversations with God too,
yeah.
where I'm like, I'm not going to put a mask on and show up
Right.
in my prayer life and just be like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
This is just a storm. Like, no, we have real conversations. I'm like, what's a lesson in this?
Mm,
And I give that permission to, like, God already knows that I'm frustrated in my heart. And I
yeah.
pray a lot of times, I'm like, I just need a little seed of encouragement because this is a really tough day.
Mm,
And He'll give it in the most incredible ways, like, and you hold on to that,
I love it.
where life is really hard. And I know that you can speak to that too, because a lot of times you could just look at Mountain Ops and everything that your team has built here, and it's like, well, they got it figured out. But I love that you get to talk to people and hear the behind the scenes stories of, well, how do you, it takes a lot of hard days to get to where you're
Yeah.
at right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So true.
I don't know if that even answered your
It
question.
does, and in a powerful way. I absolutely love it. So yeah, yeah. So what's next in your life? What are you shooting for?
Yeah, well, I think that we have so many things that we're working on. This is just the starting point. I just want to keep building those relationships no matter what avenue that is. So within CrossFit, maybe I'll compete there again, but I want to try different avenues to meet other people, to meet different people, to hear their stories. So I want to go into, I'm going to train for a 100-mile bike race.
Awesome.
No idea what I'm doing, but we're gonna say yes and try, see what happens. Same thing with running or high rocks, half marathon, marathon, even learning hunting. I'm definitely open to that. So I just want to say yes to things that I'm not good at, that I don't know about, and just learn and grow and be able to utilize that as I'm building not only my own self,
Yeah.
but also with Call to Be too, and see, like, and learn from other people as we dive into that. Like, what do they need? How can we provide help and support so they can go and try to different things too and figure out what their calling is. So
So
we're
cool.
really just getting started. It's like that puzzle
Yeah.
piece where we have the vision, we're just putting the pieces in the puzzle right
That's
now.
that's awesome. I
So,
love that, and I love that you want to get into the hunt space. Obviously, we provide nutritional supplements
yeah.
in the hunt space in a massive way. And when we first started Mountain Ops, I didn't hunt. It was new to me. I didn't grow up
So
doing
here
it,
we are.
but now I've done it. I love it, and my biggest thing is I've got FOMO, not FOMO. I've got fear of others missing out.
Okay.
And so I want them. I will take you on your first
I
hunt if
love
you want.
it.
We just need to, like, my desire. It's kind of like a good movie or a good restaurant, or,
Yeah.
now I've tasted what it's like to go out and hunt, and I want
Yeah.
everyone to try it. So I've
Right.
got my family and friends and a lot of Mountain Ops employees, they're doing it for the first time, and Mountain Ops has provided that platform for them to
And
do
I
that.
love
So
that.
we
That's
can
what
make
I'm
it happen.
so excited about. Which
That's
hunt,
awesome.
if you could choose to take me on one hunt, what would be the intro hunt?
Oh, man, it would have to be elk, I think. Um,
Like with a bow?
Rocky Mountain elk. You could start with the bow.
Would
It's
have
very
to
very difficult,
really
but I
practice.
I think my most of my family, I've started them on their first elk hunts. It's usually with a rifle, but if they
Okay.
want to, yeah, it's the bow is amazing. I mean, that's the ultimate.
Okay. So that's like not, you know.
No, I would,
Mm,
if you want to, I'd say like someone like you that's as ambitious as you are, pick up a bow and start shooting, and yeah, we can make it happen. It's just I would say elk, no matter what, whether it's a rifle or a bow, like
yeah.
that's it's, and if it's during the reason why I like it so much is elk talk, and you're listening to them, and they're speaking to each other, and they respond to you, and so you kind of, there's some strategy. You have to know how they drink and how they eat and how
Yeah.
they sleep and how they fight and how they love and all these things, and then you work those angles, and it takes a lot of learning. It's not
Yeah.
just a layup, like,
Oh, yeah.
so
Even with the bow, I can tell because I don't know that much. You're like,
yeah.
no, that's like you can get there, but that is just not something that
I
you
would just say whatever
go
elk hunt
there.
comes about first, like, take it
Yeah.
because it's so awesome. But
Yeah.
if it's a, yeah, my first deer was actually with a bow. I didn't
Really?
wait and say, oh, I've got to hunt him
Yeah.
with a gun first. No, I
Yeah.
just I got an archery tag for deer
Yeah.
here in Utah, and I went out and got one with my daughters, and it was not a big buck. It's like it's hanging behind the
That
light
one?
over here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you can see it behind that light, but little buck. But my daughters were there with me, and it was the
Oh,
coolest thing, and it came together in a way I didn't expect for it to. And that's the
yeah.
same, like, that's life sometimes,
Mhm.
right? You go out on the mountain, and you don't know what you're going to be faced with. You don't
Yeah.
know if the storm's going to come in, if it's going to be sunny, what elements you're going to face. So you're always constantly on your toes and strategizing on what
Yeah.
the next step is, and I love that
Yeah.
about the hunt.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I'm so excited about it because it's a totally new arena
Yeah.
and there's so much to learn and so many things, like just like what you're saying with
Yeah.
their patterns and how they, but you wouldn't learn that if we just stayed in your comfort zone. It's
Correct.
like, just get out there.
Just get out.
Even though
Yeah.
I will probably be not good at
No,
all,
no,
but I'm willing to
you'll probably be
try.
really
I'm
good.
willing
My
to
my wife
try.
and daughters, they're better shots than me at everything. They're just like, they don't have as much ego as I think I have, and so they're like, they go to try, and they do really well. And then the best thing about hunting for me is connection.
Yeah.
Like, the phone kind of goes away. You're out in God's creations.
Yeah.
You connect with those that you're with, and then
Yeah.
you connect with the Creator.
Right.
You
You get to
enjoy
appreciate all
it
the
all. You
intricate.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh. Well, mark this day.
okay.
We're saying yes. We're gonna try.
Tomorrow, I think our speaker's gonna have everyone call a shot, like, and so this is one of them.
We're calling the shot.
We're going elk hunting.
All right.
All right.
We're in.
Sounds
Call the shot.
good. What did you grow up with this faith, like a faith-centered home? So this was kind of instilled in you from childhood, and
I would say yes. We've always had a faith-filled home, but it was never something that my family really like pushed onto me. They allowed me to build that relationship with the Lord myself.
yeah,
So it was like, this is how we want to treat people. This is the values of our home. And they really tried to walk it out as an example versus just kind of like pushing me into it. And I will say that I didn't have a relationship with Jesus until I was 17,
okay,
just because I felt like I was good.
yeah,
Like I had a great childhood, I had an amazing family. Like I thought I was good, I believed, and I didn't ever really have a relationship. I just thought I was okay.
yeah. Life is
And
good.
life is good, yeah. And I was so blessed to have that. And I also think that too much is given, much is expected. And I had that responsibility to share the blessings that I have been given. And so at 17, I realized that I feel like I had a lot of things in my life, but I was missing something.
Mm,
I was missing like the actual peace. And my testimony is just like, of course that's from God. And I would say that from that moment on is when I actually started learning who God is and then getting to see that throughout life. So I wouldn't say that I had a strong faith.
yeah.
It was just like,
How did you learn? What was the process you went through to learn who he is?
well, I actually was called in. I was on the golf course, and the administration office called me in and were like, "Hey, Baylee, you've been awarded this scholarship for leadership on and off the golf course. Can you come in and meet the guy who is awarding you this scholarship. And I was like, I think you have the wrong person. I didn't apply for this scholarship, but okay, great. And so I went in and I met the guy, and he got to tell me a story about what the scholarship was for. And it was for his wife who tragically died in a plane crash. And I was like, man, like what an honor that I was even chosen for that. Like, really cool story. It was way more about that than the scholarship. And he handed me a gift. He handed me a bag that had a book and a Bible in it. And I was like, interesting, like interesting gift, at a scholarship
Yeah.
award. And I took that home. I thought it was great. But it sat by my bedside table until I was bored. And I was like, I couldn't go to sleep. I'm like, well, let me just check out what this book is about. And it was The Purpose Driven Life
Oh yeah.
by Rick Warren. Classic. And I just started reading it, and I felt like it was able to actually speak to where I was at in my life and give me a way to actually apply what our purpose is here on earth. And from there, I was just totally led into giving my life to the Lord. And I just wanted to learn who He was. Because if our mission is to reflect Him in all that we do, then I want to know how to do that and what our actual purpose here is. And so, yeah, that book ultimately changed my life and led me into actually learning who God is.
That's amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you for
And
sharing.
it's still like a journey.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just on the cusp, but we're constantly learning every
Life's
single day.
Yeah, it's a journey. Every single day is an opportunity, right, to connect with Him, to connect with those around us, and to become more acquainted with Him
Yeah.
through the things we experience in
Yeah.
life. And hopefully that's the way others will see it. But um, I've loved this conversation. I love the spiritual and physical strength being brought into one
Yeah.
through your life. It's amazing, and family being at the center of that as well. What's next for Called to Be and in your life? What's the grand dream? What do you hope people are impacted by with what you're doing?
If I can impact one person and just help them figure out what their purpose is and help them live that out, then that's the whole goal.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm living that out right now, just being able to share, and even being in a room here with you, I think is just a huge blessing. And I just want to keep going and
Yeah.
keep doing that and see what that can actually turn into. And I just want to keep learning and growing what people need and trying to provide them the best knowledge and support that they can. And so just gonna keep going down this path.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, and God will bless you for it. You're amazing. We're gonna have a fun next few days. I guess tomorrow is a big day with the Conquer
Hmm.
Summit. I'm excited for you to experience that, to experience more of the Mountain Ops brand and kind of the heart and
Yeah.
soul of it. That's the whole purpose of we come together to celebrate, our 11th year, and then bring in friends and family together
Yeah.
and do some things that will stretch us
Yeah.
and learn and grow in the different elements of life. But
Yeah.
you're gonna love it, and you'll add so much to it. Like
I'm so excited.
you will be a great addition to the group,
Thanks.
and I typically end these podcasts asking a question. You've answered some of it. Like I think you've kind of hit on it throughout. But there's a book that we read every once in a while here at Mountain Ops. It's called "How Will You Measure Your Life" by Clayton Christensen. He was
Hmm.
a Harvard PhD. And he talks about relationships in life, and he talks
Hmm.
about where to invest in life. And I like to ask the question, how will you measure your life as a conqueror? Because this is the Conquer cast, right?
Hmm.
And you've given so many really good nuggets of like how people can conquer in life and what you've done to do that.
Yeah.
When all is said and done, Baylee, how will you measure your life?
I think I'm living for the words well done,
Mm,
where it's just we go out and we go and we take what we've been given and we try to steward it the best way that we possibly can. That's what I want to do. The resources I've been given, the family that I've been given, I want to go out and I want to reach people. I want to do the best that I absolutely can so that I can hear that at the end of my life is well done, good and faithful servant. And that's how I'll measure it. And hopefully I'll get to give him a hug too.
wow, that makes my eyes sweat.
Man, my eyes are sweating too.
For many reasons. That's so powerful and so so
To the
good,
point.
so to the point. Man, I wish I would have thought of that. My dad passed away 2 years ago, just a week ago. It's been 2 years, and so as I watch you and your dad, we were
Yeah.
we were best buds. He's the reason why this business exists. The
Yeah.
first product was created for him. He didn't die of heart issues, and that's what I created the product for, was for his heart issues. He had a fall, broke his neck, But he would always say the same thing. In the end, I just want to hear, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." That was my dad's thing.
Yeah.
So when you say that, I'm like, yes, that's it.
That's it.
That's
That's the
it.
mission.
That's
Like
it.
no matter what, I
Yeah,
think that's what it's measured by is just doing the best that you can with what you've been given, and that's what you want to hear.
it's awesome. Thanks for being on the
Yeah,
ConquerCast
thank you
today.
so much for
This
having
is
me.
awesome.
I love everything that you guys are building and how I'm excited to go to the summit too and just see and learn from so many other people. That's another mission too, is like just trying different things.
Yeah,
Like just trying as many things as you can so you can have that impact and hear from different people.
yeah.
So thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome.
Yeah, we look forward to doing more with you and having you be an impact on our community that we've been building and be a part of it. You're incredible. So let's go conquer the summit
Let's
tomorrow.
do it.
Okay.
I'm in.
Thanks, Baylee.
Thank you.